Chris Graves with Chronic is with us, and Caviar Gold. We're talking about federal hemp regulation, or at least the potential of federal hemp regulation here at the News Joint. Chris, thanks for coming on. You were on the radio show, and I think it's important just to kind of talk about what the industry is going through. We can talk about some of the specifics of the actual potential regulation here itself, but the industry thought it got out of the woods, or at least some people thought that it got out of the woods with the Texas legislative session and the governor vetoing that ban. But here we go again with federal hemp regulation. Is the industry tired?
Yeah, it is. There's fatigue out there. The manufacturers, I haven't spoken with them yet. I mean, the actual farmers or growers, because a lot of the industry is, you know, bought from the farms. So the farmers do their thing, and they're mainly producing in states where weed is legal, where marijuana is legal. So I haven't spoken with them and gotten what their reaction is. But essentially, the THC ban that supposedly closes this loophole would effectively put everybody out of business because it's not, I mean, zero point 0.4 milligrams per container. I don't think you can manufacture that. It's just the plant. You can't make the plant that weak,
Right.
So the other thing to keep in mind is that we have a lot more horsepower as far as dollars behind us right now because you had another $28 billion injected into the industry from the farm bill, at least that's on an annual basis. And now everybody's got a little bit more money to fight this. And I think that's what's coming, honestly. I think there's a fight coming legislatively.
Now, this isn't necessarily about THC, right? This is about money, it seems like, in the sense that this is a big time industry. And it's a big enough industry where the governor did veto a ban on this. And he cited the fact that there was so much economic investment in this. It just makes you wonder if this is going to happen at a federal level, then wouldn't you have governors like Governor Greg Abbott, who vetoed it in his state, fighting against it? Otherwise, what was the point in vetoing it the first time?
I think that that's probably what you're going to see because there's 8,000 stores in Texas that sell this product. That's a lot of people you're going to put out of, shut their doors. And, like I had said on the radio show, marijuana is federally illegal. Some states have chosen to make it legal. That doesn't change the federal statute. That just means the Fed, that they're not going to pursue it. Excuse me. And the feds can't force a state to use their resources to enforce the law. So it's very possible that the state of Texas will say, no, we're going to allow this to be sold in our stores on our land.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, the landscape could change between now and a year from now. Apparently,
Absolutely.
it would be a year from now that this would take effect. But we've seen
Mhm.
just in the past year how much has changed within the hemp industry. So adjustments could be made. There may be more regulation. But, even within the industry, there's people calling for regulation too. So it's not necessarily that the industry would be opposed to that. It's just these outright bans that are threatening the livelihood of a lot of these shops, right?
And that is, I mean, that is their livelihood now. I mean, you'd be putting so many people out of work. What do they do? I mean, they've put their entire life savings into this. Um, and I mean, you do have some bad players, some bad actors out there, but the majority of the industry does want regulation. We would like to see this stick around for a long time. And the best way to do that is not to keep it out of the hands of the people that it shouldn't have it, like children and such. Let the adults have it. Let them make adult decisions on what they want to do with their free time.
Right. And that's not a new concept, right? Alcohol has
No.
an age limit, 21 years old. I
Yeah,
mean, so
we
if you
base a
really
lot
think
of
about
things.
it the way that other things have been thought about, then it feels like there is a path forward. So I want to talk about the product itself because some people are intimidated by it who don't know it. So I've got your product here, the Caviar Gold. I
Uh-huh.
thought I'd sip on it for the rest of the conversation, and we'll
Sure,
see.
sure.
We'll see if by the end of it I kill my family or anything like that, right? Because that's what people say is, you get this
Yeah,
product, you're
right.
just going to go nuts.
I'm gonna have to plug in my computer. Give me 1 second here while you indulge in that. Um,
But so this
that
is this
drink,
is hemp delta 9, sugar free,
yes,
100 milligrams, vitamin B12. What am I drinking?
yeah. So there is no in that product. Are the founder and the owner of Caviar Gold is a diabetic, so that's why he made that. But it also has 100 milligrams of caffeine in it and vitamin B12. So we consider it kind of an energy drink that'll mellow you out. For me, I don't have much tolerance, so it put me out of commission for a little bit. And I've had people that have tried it have had the same experience I have. Other people love it. They And honestly, by weight, we could have added a lot more Delta 9 in there, but we're not trying to, completely incapacitate people.
Well, what
So
is the purpose of it, right? Should you just relax?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And then,
it's just a good get home and finish your day. It's a good alternative to alcohol. And quite honestly, I spent I just hung out on the couch after I drank it.
yeah, yeah. And others, though, others could type a paper out after doing it too. I mean, it impacts people in
Uh,
different ways. And
yeah, and
that's the thing.
one of the hosts on one of the radio stations seems to think that as soon as everybody gets high or indulges in a drink or smokes a pre-roll or something, they're going to get out on the highway. They're like, everybody wants to go drive right after they do this, and that's not the case at all. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to leave the house. I want to just enjoy my time here, and like you said, either get some work done or enjoy a movie or something.
Well, what's interesting also is that the stigma seems to be that there is no regulation and they need regulation. Well, the Farm Bill itself is regulation, right? There's limits there within it as to how much you can have and things like that. So, I
Yes.
mean, I'm looking at this can right here, which is under the current Farm Bill. And let me just see warning, keep out of reach of children and animals. This product may only be possessed or consumed by persons 21 years or older. Product may cause intoxication. Do not drive or operate machinery. And it also has that exclamation point with the marijuana leaf. So I don't see how this would be packaged any different than alcohol.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of the pushback is the alcohol industry sees this as a threat to their bottom line, and I think that's where a lot of this pushback is coming from. That they're lobbying, and maybe I can't say that they're contributing or pulling the strings of these politicians, but I do believe that's where a lot of the pushback is coming from.
Right. And then, just from your perspective, kind of from the inside looking out, there's been a lot of talk of, oh, this product is so dangerous. Well, just in your perspective, how many people have told you about the positive impacts of this product compared to, oh man, this thing made me go wild?
I've never heard any negative feedback, and it's all been positive. Yeah, people love it. I haven't had a because you remember the negative, like, okay, well, that's because that addresses an issue that you want to fix because you want everybody to have a good experience with your product. And I haven't heard anything negative. It's all been positive. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I just bring that up because of the fact that you hear so much, on the surface about, oh, it's so bad and so many things.
mhm.
But I do feel like the truth reveals that there's a lot of people who incorporate these products in their everyday life.
Yeah, absolutely. Being like personally, my COVID trashed my lungs, so I can't smoke. I have a lot of damage from that, so I can't smoke. So a drink would be my choice.
Right. Yeah. And then there's other things too. There's gummies and that kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
It's certainly
absolutely.
a progressive industry, but it's an industry facing some hurdles. Could be a federal hemp regulation. Just last thing, what are you guys hearing about that as far as the legal pushback? I guess all the attorneys are going after it over the next year.
Well, like I said, we just got over the legal fight here in Texas over that. Hilt was the front line on that. The hemp leader industry in Texas. I forget what the acronym stood for, but they just got done with that, and a lot of my friends went down to Austin and argued against the SB3. So all everything is there, all the argument is there, but now it has to be taken from the state level to the federal level. So there's a little bit more organization that needs to go on before they take up that fight. I think everybody's finally got, you know, their heads have stopped spinning from getting hit with this so blindsidedly. Um, yeah, and I know that Mike, the guy that owns Caviar Gold in the Chronic, is getting involved. Now, one other thing that I'd like to bring up is that the federal government is about to declassify. They're about to reclassify marijuana and THC in general. So it's going to go from a class one narcotic to a class three. So it's not no longer going to be classified with heroin and cocaine. It's going to be brought down to a class three narcotic, which also opens the door for federal grants to do testing. And and let's just say that all goes well, then it can also be paid for in a medical instance by insurance.
Yeah, and that would be big. And that's the other part of
That
this is
is
like we talked
huge.
about, the whole landscape is changing. So you may get one
Yes.
thing thrown out, but then another door, bust wide open.
Yeah, so it's very confusing, because you've got one side trying to get rid of it, and the other side is trying to bring it to where it really needs to be, looked at. Like it's not a class one narcotic. It shouldn't even be a narcotic. I mean, it does alter you. So okay, but they want to bring it down to a class three and actually fund, what's the word I'm looking for? They want to fund, uh, rate, shoot, I can't think all of a sudden. They want to fund research
Yeah, yeah.
into it, research how it can help somebody with PTSD or medical issues, a cancer survivor, someone like that. And if that goes well, which I think it will, because you've already got so many examples out there, people that have used it, to help them with these problems, that the research shouldn't take long, and it'll be classified, brought down to a class 3, and then once it's been able to be picked up by insurance, I mean, that just opens the door for the industry.
Yeah, yeah, that would change the landscape for sure. But then
Yeah,
just
that
last
changes the
thing,
whole game.
you have drinks like this, and you wonder the timeline as far as these drinks getting more popular. They went into places like Specs and Total Wine and
Target.
all those kind of places. You then wonder the correlation that we talked about the alcohol industry. Do these type of drinks pose a threat to them? Is it the same people drinking them, or could it be viewed as just a different type of customer and a different type of recreation altogether?
I think it's going to take a little bit of their market share. I honestly do. But I do believe it also opens the door to a new type of customer, and a whole different way of thinking about, um, recreation in general, using this as a recreational product.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots to talk about for sure. Chris Graves, thank you so much for doing that. Caviar Gold and the Chronic. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thanks for having me on. It was wonderful.
All right. Great. Chris, thanks.